This is American Dreams, a program where we interview thought leaders and entrepreneurs and bring their ideas to you in real-world context.
I'm visiting here today with Ray Zinn. Ray, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here, Alan.
So, Ray, for the listeners, can you give us your pathway in life of, what brought you up to where you are today, and then what you're currently working on?
Well, I'm a consummate entrepreneur, and I always like to invent things and share with people knowledge that I have, and so my background, of course, is I'm a graduate engineer with a master's in business, and I started Micrel, my company that I founded in 1978. So that's my big achievement, other than married my beautiful wife and having 22 grandchildren and 13 great grandchildren. So they're of course the special part. But in the end of 2014, actually around that time frame, I was invited to write a book and a little bit about my experience and leadership skills. And so the book is called Tough Things First. And it's basically it's produced by McGraw-Hill, published by McGraw-Hill, and the primary purpose of it is to teach entrepreneurs how to run a company. 9 out of 10 startups fail after the first 3 years, and I wanted to get that down to at least 50-50. So that was the purpose of doing Tough Things First. And so then subsequent to writing the book Tough Things First, I started writing these musings, these thoughts that I have that are leadership skills. And so I wrote my first book, Zen of Zen, which we brought out about a little over a year ago. And then I brought out my new book, Zen of Zen 2, that I brought out in just last few months. And I'm just finishing Zen of Zen 3, which will be published this time next year. And it's a collection of thoughts on how to run your life, leadership skills. And so what I try to do is really help people and kind of give back, because I've had a very good life and a long record, Silicon Valley's longest serving CEO. And so I just thought there was a way I could give back. So I teach at like 6 universities. I have a program called Zen Starter, which is like Kickstarter for universities. I give money to the students to help start a company, and then we mentor them. They use my book Tough Things First as their background material, and so it's just my way of giving back to the world, as you would, and my skills on leadership. And so Tough Things for Zen of Zen 2 is really just a compilation of my thoughts on how to lead your life, live your life. It applies to anyone, whether you're a child, whether you're a student, or whether you're a father, mother. This book is applicable to anybody, and it's just some thoughts like you would say, put it on your refrigerator and say, "Here's what I'd like to focus on today." So in the book, there's 500 of them. And so, that'll give you at least a year and a half's worth to put on your refrigerator to reflect on.
And then you also have a weekly podcast.
Mm-hmm. We produce weekly a podcast. I just finished a series on the history of Silicon Valley. I did that. That's been released. And now I'm doing a series on effective leadership. That's another series we're doing. That'll be finished probably in another month and a half. We'll finish that series. It's a series of 10 podcasts. I think the history of Silicon Valley is like 15 podcasts. And we just interview different people, and they interview me, and it's something like what you do, Alan.
So we'll put a link to the podcast, but also the Audible of how do they reach that podcast? Is it off SoundCloud or?
Well, they get it on any of the standard Apple, any of the standard Stitcher, any of the ones that standard ways you would listen to podcasts. You can go to our website, toughthingsfirst.com. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. You can pick us up on any of your social media. You can find out where we are and when we do these series. In fact, I'm doing one tomorrow with a fellow who took his company from an office and now they're totally virtual. We're working from home. And so we're going to do a podcast on how effective is it working from home as opposed to working in an office building. And I do that tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. With this fellow and trying to figure out and understand how well he's managed to run his company where all of his employees work from home.
Ray, it's been a pleasure having you with us today.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. We've been visiting here today with Ray Zinn.